Hey everybody, Adam Savage at Propstore down in Los Angeles with Chuck.
Adam, thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me. And if you are into terrifying superheroes, the boys will answer the call. We're covering some props from the boys.
Yes, we have a dedicated auction just focused on the boys. I got to go on set up in Canada, which is where they were filming this, and take a whole bunch of things. Today we're going to focus on our favorite friend, Homelander. And this was one of the last pieces we got to add to our collection, was a authentic Homelander hero costume.
And there are other videos in this series, but I am so excited to see the Homelander costume up close.
It is a work of art.
It truly is. The Boys has a lot of heavy lifting to do because superhero costumes have gotten insanely amazing over the past 15, 20 years. And you can't fake that kind of detail, and they haven't. They have managed to create so many luscious textures on this thing that they speak to like something that was carefully handmade.
Yes. So there are a lot. Obviously, the printing on the actual fabric for the costume,
yep. So
which is rubberized.
Dimensional
yes.
printing.
I always love this detail here. You don't necessarily see this on all of them, but this has a magnetic clasp that opens it. So in the very first season, you see him wearing it more like this sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you see him wear it like this. But there are different versions of the costume. This one opens up so that you can see this. But I thought that was a really cool added piece to the costume.
Also, again, they're not just printing these stars on fabric. Every single one of these is embroidered onto like a linen back. It's gorgeous.
It's amazing.
Speaking of parts that I didn't realize were so beautiful.
Yes.
Dude, this cape is something else.
The texture on the cape, I didn't notice it until I actually saw the cape in person. But then when you look on screen, you see the texture. There's ridges to this, it's almost like a corduroy type fabric.
It is almost like
but it's
corduroy,
shiny.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice kind of shiny. And what I also love is the detail on the back. I never noticed they airbrushed this down at the bottom of the cape as well. And I don't know if that's to give more of an effect of him sort of flying or other things like that, but they painted the bottoms of the cape in this way.
Yeah. Well, if this guy can move faster than an explosion, I would imagine these clothing would have to have significant tensile strength.
Yeah,
so
and I guess it also shows a little bit of wear to it too, that obviously he wore this around and would do a lot of things, move very fast, and so, the cape picks up some of the where he's been.
Dude, so every now and then as I'm looking at it, and we'll get some shots of the beautiful star pattern on the back too, but every now and then it just sinks into me that it's standing next to Homelander, who I really can't emphasize enough is the scariest villain I have encountered in villainy, right? He is such a scary monster.
He is. You don't want to stand face to face with him, but the actor who plays him is a much nicer person than the actual character that he portrays. God. But he does. It's a great job of sort of turning into a character and truly portraying this, and you get scared when you see this costume almost.
Absolutely.
It's like you don't want to be in the same room as this person.
I dig these shoulder pauldrons, right? There's definitely some inspiration.
There's probably some inspiration. I mean, it takes homage, or it plays homage to a bunch of different sort of comic roots, different characters. But yeah, the red, white, and blue, obviously, it's America. This is this glove here is a specific, where it's shorter. This was for a specific scene where I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but yeah, so we have
let's
thumb.
Ruin it. Let us, we're saying a boys spoiler.
Okay, go away if you don't want to hear it.
The shallower thumb has a great reason.
But yes, there is a fight between Homelander and Queen Maeve. And let's just say somebody gets an eye put out. So, sorry for the spoiler. But, wear and tear on the costume as well. So, I mean, I think that's the thing about these things. There's obviously some shaping that goes inside. They've got
Is there a muscle suit built into it?
There is a muscle suit that's built into it. Okay. I believe also there is some cooling system that's built into it, too. When he was wearing this, he had to wear a cooling system because it is so... sort of bulky, and it's very thick.
It's like wearing a quilt.
Yeah, it's very robust.
Yeah.
Wow. But I think there's just details everywhere you look. This is hand painted.
This is leather too, right?
This is leather. I believe this is sort of hand painted details as far as the stripes and other things. You can sort of see brushwork in there. So at least they touched it up with that, although they printed in some of the details in this. And even in the back, you sort of see that they have this piece here that covers the back seam. So they do a lot to just make sure that they covered up a lot of the different sort of areas that might be exposed in it. So just an amazing costume, amazing way of putting it together. And as you say, it's a villain that everybody's a little bit scared of.
Dude, including me. Dude, that's just amazing seeing it up close. And this looks like it's a complete costume.
This is a complete costume. We'll have in the auction, we'll have some that are a little less complete, but we were able to put together some complete costumes and try to put them together as complete as possible with matching pieces. They obviously, throughout the seasons, they did get a lot of wear and tear, so they had to replace pieces of the costumes. They're numbered, so we try to put the numbers together as much as possible, but some of them end up getting reused and put into different scenes.
And you got to go on set and, like, while they were filming, look through all the departments?
It was the very end of the, yes, as they were wrapping up season 5, they allowed me on the final days to go in and take. Now, obviously, these had been put away in sort of safe storage.
Of course.
Nobody was going to get a Homelander
And you all knew already that you wanted to carry these in the auction.
Yes, but other things that are around here, they would sort of ask me, do you want to take this or do you not? Archives did get first take at everything. So they did protect, for future. Sony Archives does have a bunch of this stuff, so that's great. But there were certain things they decided they did not want to take. Sometimes they were too large to store. They didn't think they were going to reuse them in future episodes. And so fans can now host those for the rest of their time.
Too large to store is something I specifically want to talk about because The Boys is an amazing show in that it has to create a whole alternative, not future or past, but present, and at scale. These are internationally renowned figures. There's advertisements, comic books, and the show shows you all of those parts of culture, and I think we've got some, this to me speaks to the kind of scale the show happens at. If it's going to be a bronze statue, it's going to be impossibly large.
There was a lot of large items on set, and that was, I wouldn't say all shows are like that, but I did notice an abnormally large amount of items that we had to choose from that were oversized. And it's a question of, can we save those for the fans in the future? And usually my natural tendency is like, no, don't throw that away. Don't destroy it. I want to save it for the fans if they're not necessarily going to save it for future shows.
Sure.
So a lot of the things that you see here today, we were able to sort of keep for the fans and ship down, get them down here from Canada, and then offer them to folks that want to put them in their houses.
Non-trivial to move something this big.
No, we had a debate about, first I think we started, it was like, we're going to take half a truck. And then it was like, we're going to take a full truck. And then it's like, we're going to take 2 trucks. So it got bigger and bigger as we looked at the items that we wanted to salvage. And it was things like, this came from the ceiling of the 7 tower.
Can we talk about this piece? This is amazing. Talk to me about this ceiling piece. There's a huge ceiling covered with carving.
Yes, there was, if you remember, in the very center, there's a sort of a circular mural that was huge.
Yeah.
And around that, there were different members of the 7 that they carved out each of the different characters, and they had different poses that go on it. But we decided we were going to salvage those. And so as they were breaking down the set, we said, let's salvage each of these and have all the different caricatures of the 7 that were there. Now it's tough because as you can see, it gets cracked when you're doing that. There's wooden planks on the back of it that help to keep its form to it, but it is foam. It is easy to crack. We tried to salvage it as best we could, and thank you to the team up there that did a great job of helping to keep all this stuff together. But this is the one of Homelander, and it interconnects, and so it actually goes character to character, and sometimes you get a bit of another character in some of these, which is really cool. But I just thought these were amazing. They hand painted, obviously, with the stars on there and the eagles. But I thought this was a cool Homelander piece that somebody might want to take home.
It's, again, also standing among these large props really sort of sends it home how much scale they built into the show.
And to think they had to look way up, and it was truly a dome that they were looking into when they were filming. So
incredible.
You get that sense.
Part of the incredible world building on the show is all of the graphic support, the comic books, the advertisements, the posters, and the paintings.
Yes, the painting of the Deep and Homelander. Of course, they were. He was number 2. I think he established that in the very first episode. I'm number 2. This is sort of an aspirational painting. I think this is what the Deep wanted to be, side by side with Homelander. In reality, probably not what was happening, at least in Homelander's mind.
Poor Deep. What a flawed.
Yes, but what an amazing painting that shows this vision of the 2 of them together. So it's in the Deep's lair, if you want to look at it that way, and he looks at this as his inspiration for where he wants to be in life.
I find there to be some interesting commentary within this painting in terms of Homelander's body, because he looks muscular, but he also doesn't look quite as good as Deep.
well, you
I
know.
find myself wondering if that's not canon to the idea of Deep having this painting.
Well, he's got much more of a proud look. Look at
Yes,
that. He's looking
yeah.
up. He's almost kind of looking like Homelander does behind
Right.
us here.
He's
He's
looking
got
in the
that look
distance.
while Homelander's just kind of comfortable. He's kind of hanging out there, but he's in the arms of the Deep, and he feels secure.
So you're on set, you're wandering around, you're looking at all these amazing pieces from the show,
Yeah.
and you know all these pieces. It
Yes.
must be great to be like, hey, can we have that one? And they go, yes.
This one in particular, I was kind of more like, where is it, guys?
Oh.
You know, it was kind of like,
You
I
knew you
want that.
wanted it.
And frankly, I had that discussion with the archives. I was like, are you going to take this? And there were more than one of these, so that's good. So the
Oh,
archives did
nice.
get one, but we got this nice framed version of this.
So-
I haven't tried to screen match it, but I have a feeling it might. Yeah.
Chuck, these half dozen pieces here are a tiny fraction of the items in the auction.
Tiny fraction. There are hundreds of items that we were able to put into the auction, a lot of other artwork that you'll find in there, as well as props, prosthetics, costumes.
Amazing.
From the boys as well as the superheroes that are in there.
And the auction's coming up when?
It's coming up in June.
We'll include all the relevant links in the description below. Thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.